Pop stars don't typically have the longest shelf life. In the age of social media celebrities, stars have to work extremely hard, release work often, and reinvent themselves enough times to stay relevant and not be swept away in a wave of newer, shinier singers with more Instagram followers and YouTube streams. But these pop stars can't seem to accept the fact that stardom is fleeting, and they've fallen by the wayside. Here are the stars who haven't realized they're not famous anymore. Fergie. Fergie has come a long way down since the days of The Duchess, which spawned 5 top 10 hits on the Billboard 100, 3 of which hit #1 in 2006 and 2007. Unfortunately, Fergie waited a really long time to release a follow-up, dropping LA Love in December 2014. The song peaked at number 27 on the Billboard charts, but due to its lackluster performance, she delayed the release of Double Duchess, which was slated to hit shelves in 2015. She enlisted some famous faces for her MILF Money music video in July 2016, but the song stalled at number 34. And her following single, Life Goes On, didn't chart at all. When her album finally dropped in September 2017, it peaked at number 19. Despite her best publicity stunts, including a disastrous national anthem in February 2018. She revealed in a European radio interview that she paid for her music videos herself, saying, "I am still paying for all the videos that I did for the album, so I think I might be about to go on credit. I have things that I could sell. It's fine." Katy Perry. Some of Katy Perry's recent struggles on the charts might be due to her feud with Taylor Swift. On June 8, 2017, Swift's catalog was released on all streaming services, stealing the thunder from Perry's album release for Witness on June 9th, one day later. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 but dropped off the charts after 21 weeks. Witness just didn't have any hits. Chained to the Rhythm peaked at #4 in March 2017, but dropped off the Billboard Hot 100 entirely after just 15 weeks. Swish Swish peaked at a dismal number 46 that June and dropped off the chart within 10 weeks. Bon Appetit fared even worse, peaking at number 59 and disappearing after only 6 weeks. Capitol Records chairman Steve Barnett told Variety, "I talk about how engagement is so important and I don't believe you can have big cycles between projects as Perry did. Hey, at least she's got American Idol, right?" Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks' hit 212 garnered her an incredible amount of industry hype. But Banks squandered whatever buzz she'd gained with petty social media beefs, leading to her permanent ban from Twitter and Facebook. Her antics also cost her a collaboration with Lady Gaga, who told fans that Banks had a bad attitude. By July 2014, The Guardian reported that Banks left her record deal with Universal, and Vice reported that she had to cancel a Norway performance the same month because no one showed up. Add that to her legal troubles and Banks' outlook is bleak. Banks may have signed a new record deal in February 2018, but it remains to be seen if she'll actually release any music. Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea had a massive hit with Fancy, which stuck to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks in 2014, but by March 2015, Azalea's heat was cooling. The rap reported that she refused to do press to promote what would have been her first arena tour, leading to its cancellation. In January 2016, Azalea lashed out at her label for not letting her drop a video for A Zillion, and her single Team flopped, leading most to abandon hope for her sophomore effort, Digital Distortion. Can't Lose wasn't a chart winner, and her spring 2017 single Mo Bounce flopped as well. In July 2017, Azalea claimed that her label boss Steve Bartles refused to release any more singles from Digital Distortion, which as of early 2018 still hasn't been released. Rita Ora. When Rita Ora appeared on The Wendy Williams Show in December 2016, Williams asked,
"I loved you in 50 Shades of Grey. Every single magazine you open up, you always see Rita Ora, and I always say, okay, but what else does she do?"
The question was symbolic of the way most of America feels about Ora, who's actually a singer with killer pipes. Her struggle to take the US market became glaringly apparent in October 2014, when she tweeted, "Dropping my new song Monday if this gets 100,000 retweets," which got about 2,000 retweets. She then retweeted a fan account that wrote, "Where are her 3.9 million followers when you need them?" She later claimed she'd been hacked, but the damage was done. Though she was heavily pushed by Jay-Z's Roc Nation label when she first got signed, battles with the record label, as well as with her ex-boyfriend Calvin Harris, led her to releasing just one album, Aura, in 2012. She had some success and went platinum in the UK, but for every hit, she seems to have a blunder, whether it be a public breakup or being busted buying her own single. Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor dominated the charts with All About That Bass from her platinum debut album Tidal in 2015. But the M train derailed with her sophomore record Thank You. The album peaked at number 3, selling just half of what Tidal did in its first week. Her first single from the album No peaked at number 3, but her subsequent release Better didn't even break the Hot 100. As of early 2018, album number 3 isn't shaping up to be much better. No Excuses, the first single from her upcoming third album, was a return to her title style of modern-day doo-wop, but debuted at number 46 in March 2018. Nelly Furtado. Be honest, you still know all the lyrics to Nelly Furtado's I'm Like a Bird and Promiscuous. But the singer hasn't really been able to stick the landing with her subsequent releases. 2006 Loose debuted with 219,000 copies sold in its first week. And 6 years later, 2012's The Spirit Indestructible sold 6,000 copies in its first week. The Ride, released in 2017 after another long hiatus, debuted with just 1,814 copies sold in its first week. The album didn't even break the Billboard 200 in her Canadian homeland. She explained to HuffPost Canada, "I have very few albums that debut high, so one chart or anything doesn't necessarily mean anything. I have had a lot of ups and downs in my career on a commercial level, so I'm very bulletproof in that way." Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas overestimated Jonas Brothers' nostalgia and his own mainstream appeal as a solo artist. His 2014 debut solo effort, Nick Jonas, peaked at number 6, while Last Year Was Complicated debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts in June 2016. In its second week out, Last Year dropped out of the top 10 completely. His single started out strong with Jealous, peaking at number 7 in January 2015, but everything released after that did worse than the single before it. Chains and Close peaked at number 13 and 14, but Level stalled out at number 44, and Bomb Bitty Bomb only hit number 54. His May 2017 single Remember I Told You didn't even crack the Billboard Hot 100. And none of that appears to be reflected in his ticket prices. In November 2015, People reported that his and Demi Lovato's ultimate VIP dressing room package for their Future Now tour cost $10,000 for a backstage dressing room, rider, a visit and photos with Lovato and Jonas, autographed merch, access to a stage side lounge and dinner, but not an actual ticket to the show. Still, his movie 2017's Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle did amazingly well at the box office. So Jonas could have a future in acting if he hangs up his guitar for good. Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake was once branded the next huge male pop star, carrying the torch Michael Jackson left behind, despite throwing Jackson's own sister under the bus after the world's first ever wardrobe malfunction during the 2004 Super Bowl. However, his solo Super Bowl performance in 2018 was panned as a flop, and many believe it led to dismal sales of his album Man of the Woods. That Grape Juice reported that the record was initially projected to sell upwards of 700,000 copies in its first week, but actually sold less than 250,000. Even though it debuted at number 1, the album has yet to produce a hit single. Filthy and Say Something each peaked at number 9. Supplies hit number 71, and the title track made it to number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's not great for most artists, but that's abysmal for someone of Timberlake's level and caliber, especially when Can't Stop the Feeling topped the charts less than 2 years earlier. But then again, maybe it's just time he cries us a river. Thanks for watching. Click the Nicki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out this other cool stuff we know you'll love too.